Hello again everyone, how are you all doing? What have you been spending your time doing with all this extra time at home? I've been making sure I do my Joe Wicks, not every morning. It's quite hard, isn't it? I'm definitely aching for it today. Are you guys doing it? You enjoying it? Finding it hard? Okay, so let's carry on with the Creakers. We are on to chapter 20 something, if I can find the right page. Chapter 25, The Creaker King. And we've got a little note from the author here. Here we go. Told you this was going to happen. I warned you Lucy would have to face the Creaker King, didn't I? Don't blame me. It's not like I'm making this stuff up. If you didn't go to the loo last time I warned you, now's your last chance. No? Sure? Because by reading on, you agree to the terms and conditions that I, Tom Fletcher, the author of this book, am not responsible if you pee your pants with fright in the next chapter. I'm not responsible either. No one try and blame me if they wee themselves. Okay, here we go then. Let's see how Lucy reacts to facing the Creaker King. Lucy's stomach twisted in horror as she saw a flash of fluorescent green. She recognised it at once. It was her dad's jacket. It was all draped around the shoulders of the largest creaker she'd ever seen. He was the size of Guff, Grunt, Scratch and Sniff put together. A hideously rotten creature who kept himself hidden in the shadows of the tunnel. With the sun in her eyes from the world above, Lucy could just make out glimpses of the king's cracked lips, his beaky nose and his flaky, scaly head. His battered, crab-like claw was tough as bone as it grasped Lucy's ankle, but worst of all was his smell. It was like fish guts and vomit. Ugh, made Lucy gag. Say farewell to your world, kidling! The king snapped in an awful creaky croak that scratched Lucy's eardrums. He pulled her from the open wormhole, out of the sunlight and back into the dark shadows of the Woleb. Get back from the holes, you disgusting bunch of twitnits! The king spat at his creakers, or you'll be dusted! Lucy saw the upside-down world turn upside down again as he picked her up by the leg with one mighty claw. She was carried swinging dizzily from side to side back into the cavernous opening where the entrance of Creekland once stood. Stay calm, Lucy, she told herself, trying desperately to ignore the leaping of her heart in her chest. Stay calm. With a thud, Lucy was dumped into the middle of the main street, with its thick, oozing mud now that the polished green paving had vanished. She rubbed her sore ankle where the king's claw had gripped her, as he stood in the entrance to his grand castle. And there Lucy is, being carried by the Creaker King. With a wave of his powerful arms, he commanded the brightly lit tunnel that led to Whiffington to twist shut, sealing off the warm sunlight. Let me go home! Lucy shouted at the king, her voice echoing around the enormous cave. The Creaker King stood very still. Lucy saw his shoulders rise and fall as his rotten, reeking breath filled the air with stinking steam. He reminded Lucy of a fearsome dragon. He opened his fist, revealing long, black, pointy claws. Lucy gulped. The king twisted them around a huge, greasy throne of mud, began to grow out of the floor, bubbling and oozing as it formed in the deepest shadows of the Creaker castle. The king suddenly bent forwards and creaked along on all fours, more like the creakers Lucy was used to seeing, although his creak was more creepy, more powerful, like that of a strong silverback gorilla. He crept into the shadows and sat on his mouldy throne of rot. If it wasn't for the luminous green jacket he'd stolen from Lucy, she wouldn't have been able to see him at all. So, kidling, you've come to destroy us. The king's voice cut through the darkness. No, Lucy said honestly. That's not why I came here at all. The king was silent for a moment, as his 4 loyal Creakers, Grunt, Guff, Scratch and Sniff, crept beside his throne. These Creakers of mine be telling me how you tricked them, how you caught them in a sun trap, and now you brings the day down here with yous, the king said. Yes, but I... So you see, it seems that you are destroying us whether you want to or not. Lucy's heart sank in her chest. She'd never meant to destroy anything or hurt anyone. I just wanted my mum back and to rescue the other mums and dads for the other children, she explained. Lies! The king roared. Lucy found herself trembling with fear. She wished she could run away, but something about the king made her feel frozen to the spot. No kidling wants their grown-ups back. We takes them away, we lets the kids be free, be messy, be naughty, the king boomed. In return, all we wants is your rotten waste. Yes, but, Lucy gulped, your rottenness, you see, it all got a bit out of hand. Out of hand? The king asked. Yes, we realised that we needed the grown-ups. We missed them. Missed them? Yes. When they were gone, it was fun for a little while, but then we got lonely and sad. We wanted our mums and dads back. Lucy paused for a moment. My mum, she's all I've got in the world since my dad disappeared. I had to come and save her. The king was silent. Lucy could only see his large pointy claws dangling over the arms of his throne like spiders sitting in their webs, waiting to attack. Suddenly the lumpy ground of Main Street started rumbling and shaking. Lumps of decaying floor crumbled upwards, floating towards the cave ceiling. You're creaking this, Grunt said in a panic. The Brights be coming in! Lucy knew that Grunt was right. The mouldy ground beneath was getting warmer and warmer. As she looked down, a crack appeared by her feet. You've got to hide! Lucy yelled at the Creakers. Get into the shadows! The king stood up, spreading out the long, filthy jacket. Grunt, Guff, Scratch and Sniff leapt behind it, taking cover in the shadow of their king. Then the crack split open, an enormous shard of blinding white sunlight exploded into the cave, slicing through the shadows and falling directly on the king. With a roar, he shielded his face with his arms, protecting it from the hot rays. There he is, trying to protect his face from the sun, with his Creakers behind him, cowering in his shadow. Dear, what do you reckon's going to happen to the king? No! Lucy cried out, terrified that they would all be turned to dust. But the king stood in the pool of light and slowly lowered his arm, allowing the warmth to touch his face. For the first time, Lucy saw what he looked like. She saw his eyes, which were a twinkling blue. His nose, which was just a little bit too big, just like hers. I think that's a clue there. His mouth, which looked like it might break into a smile at any moment. A lump instantly caught in her throat, tears formed in her eyes, and her head spun with confusion. Dad? She gasped before everything went black. Wow, what a cliffhanger to leave us on, eh? Well, hopefully that was such a good cliffhanger. You'll be back tomorrow to join me for chapter 26. The Weird Work of the Woleb. Okay. Hope you all enjoyed that then, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next chapter. Bye!